Okay, here's another example cover I'm going to create to show you how I did it, and it will show you little things I did on this. Now, bear in mind that keep your books professional. The easy way to do that is to check out other professional covers and sort of model them on their sort of what they're doing, letter size and words and backgrounds and so on. For this one, all I did was use a blended image. I got an original photograph, changed it into a one-colored effect, and then blended it in top and bottom, and then put the text on. That's basically it. I'll just go through how I did it. So first, of course, you need to create your blank cover. So 1850 by 2500. It's already got those sizes there, so I'll just click OK, and there we are. Then what I did there is I found this picture on Google Images. Now, once again, I'm just using this image for this lecture for demonstration purposes only. I'm not actually going to produce this cover for sale or publication. So, but if you were going to do that, make sure first that you check the usage rights, that you're allowed to use it and or modify it. As I said, it's probably best to go to a website that allows you to buy rights to use images, and that way you're safe. Okay, so what I did here was just copy the URL of the image, and I went in here. Now, you can bring the image in as a layer. I tried that, but the image size is bigger than the cover, and that means that layer is bigger and you have to crop it. Yeah, you can do it that way, but I found it was easier to open the image in a separate window. So that's what I'm going to do here. So open image URL. It does take a few minutes because of course it's quite a large image. And there we are. I'm just going to resize it. I'm going to uncheck constrain properties, which means when I change the width, at the moment it would change this to keep it in proportion, but I'm not worried about it being in proportion, so I'll uncheck that. I'm just going to type in the size of my cover, which is of course 1850 by 2500, and click OK, and there we are. Should change the size. Now all I'm going to do here is simply select pixels. I'll select it and then copy, deselect all, which is always a good thing to do after you select anything. Close this without saving the changes. Now simply went here and pasted it in. Of course, paste it as a new layer. Now what I did next was I selected that layer, because it's different colors. I want it to be all green, right, for the effect of blending in, and it looks better. So the easiest way to do that is go here, define brush. I've now created a brush. There we are. It's now created a brush using that image. So now I just deselect all. In fact, we don't need that layer. We now want to create a new layer, because when we're using a brush, it will put it onto that layer. I want it on a separate layer. Now this is a transparent layer. Looking here, it's white, but of course that's because you can see through this layer. There's nothing on this layer yet, so you're seeing this white background layer here, which is not transparent. So we simply now go to brushes, and we should find our brush in here. Yes, we do. So we click on that, click anywhere outside here, and there we are. You can see the outline of it. Now we want the color, of course, to be the right color, so I'll click here. I know it's this color, so I'm just going to borrow that straight from there. I think it was this one up here. Click OK, and now when I just try to position it on the cover, because remember it's the same size as our cover, try to get as close as you can. Now don't worry if you don't get it dead on, because you can move it, of course, with the move tool, which is what we're going to do in a minute. There we are. There's our image. We're just going to click on move tool to get rid of our brush. If we just zoom out a little bit there, you can see that we've got little white edges, so we need to move that. So all I did next was just zoom in. There we are, and I just clicked here, dragged it down the corner. Now I normally know the hand that will only get you so close to the edge. I use these arrows to get it right down as much as I can. Now one tap at a time, because remember we're really zoomed in. I'm going to use my arrows keys on my keyboard, making sure I've already got move select with move tool select, which I have here. So I move that down one tap at a time. If you tap it too many times, it will keep on moving for the amount of times you tapped it, and it may go way beyond where you need to. I've done that mistake before. Just one more tap to do it. There we are. I think that's enough. There, that'll do fine. Move it to the right. One more should do it. Now I noticed with this one, I don't know why, but you'd think that it would be exactly flush with this end as well, but there is a slight white edge, as you can see there. And if I go up here, it's left a white edge here. So what we want to do is make this, get rid of this white edge, which is the background. So the easy way to do that is to select the entire layer. So select pixels is the way to do that. And then with that, we click into this one, image, crop, and that will crop this layer according to the selected pixels in this layer. So remember to deselect all. I think it's actually already done that. Right, now what we're going to do now is, I'm going to zoom out a bit. So now we're going to create this blending in here, top, bottom and top. So I'm just going to zoom in just a little, not too much, just so I can see it. I'm going to make sure, of course, we're on the right level, which is this one, because we're going to put the colors onto this layer, not this layer. So first I'm going to go back to brushes. Now still remember the last brush, so I'm going to click out of that and I'm going to select this one. It's a little bit small, so I'm going to move the slider up about halfway, and that should make, yeah, that's easier to see. So now I'm going to choose this color, which I've already done, of course. So now opacity at 100, so I'm going to use that to blot out most of this at the bottom here. Okay, it's a bit slow. I'm going to hopefully get that done shortly. It can be a bit time consuming, especially when you're working with a large image such as this. I'm just going to blot it out as enough as I can for the author name. So it's just a bit tedious. I'm holding down the mouse and dragging it here, but you can do it in other ways. Right, now I've done that. Now I just reduce the opacity, say to about here. So the less opacity, the longer it takes to blot out the image behind. So now we've got on that, and simply click along here. I don't want to drag and do it this time. I just want to do it very carefully. Just, and all that does is just fades the green slightly in, but not totally in. So that there will blend that in, so we can see the image appearing. And then I just, for a good measure, reduced it again to about 30, 35, around about there. That'll do. Clicked on that and just once again did the same about here. So one click at a time. It's just, there we are. And it just slightly covers it. So now you've got that blend effect. Now we're just going to do the same with the top, which of course white. So we're just going to change the color to, oh, there's white there, so we're just going to click that. We'll change the opacity back to 100 again. I'm just going to get rid of the top nice and quick, so or slow depending on the computer. So I'm just going to try to get it across there. It's a bit slow, as you can see. There we are. Just get rid of most of that. So maybe it's a little bit more there. Just going to carefully do this, one click at a time. Don't have to be exact because we're blending. Okay, now I'm just going to change the opacity there down to about 50-ish, and then we're going to do the same, about half and half, so I'm on the white and on that. Okay. Just one click at a time will do it. Probably don't need to do that anymore. I think that's fine there. So you can see now you've got this blend effect. Now it's just a matter of putting on the text. So that creates its own level, of course. There's a text layer first. So I'll just type in the word the. Do that with capital T and E. Now it's got white, of course. We want this color, the same as this. It's nice to have the same colors on that. I just chose regular center. So that maximum size, just simply click that. Change layer to an image so it's rasterized. Edit, free transform, and just drag that out there just to make it the right size that I'm happy with. Click outside, click yes to save the changes. Okay, so it's about the right position there. Then I'm going to click again to put another text in, which is forest. So this is capital letters. once again, annoyingly, it's put it as that color, so we'll choose green again. Sort it maximum size and so on. So I'm just going to click OK. Rasterize layer, free transform, just drag it out. Oops, that's not what I wanted really, but thank you. Right, let's try it once again. This time hopefully I won't try to turn it. That's better. Right, now we're doing it right. So I just want that too big, so just move that across here to about there. There we are. That should do nicely. I think we're a little bit too long, so I'll just make that shorter. That's about right. And then just click outside. Yes, to save the changes. Now what I did here was, if you noticed, in fact I'll move that up a little bit there. So we've got the letters over the white there, just slightly. There we are. And we'll click on the and move that up slightly as well to there. So it's lining up the end of the T with the left hand side of the word forest. Go back to forest. What I did here was, if you notice here, there's a little white border here. It doesn't show here. In actual fact, there is a border all the way around it, but it doesn't show up here because of the white background. So quite a neat effect. So this is how I did that. Forest selected. I clicked into these, which is layer styles. I clicked on outer glow. I clicked on it itself. It's chosen this color, but I just changed that to white. In actual fact, I just click that actually to make sure, because it might not be exactly white, which it isn't. Click OK on that so we know we've got that same color. I just moved the hardness right up to that, the most possible hardness. You can adjust the size you want, but I just leave it. Click OK, and there we are. And then finally, all you need to do is put your name in. I mean, for this I will put my name in. This time I'm going to keep the color. So make sure the capital locks button is off. Type in Ian Stables, which is my name. Choose that there. I'm going to keep it regular. Click save. Rasterize layer so we can resize it and so on. Free transform. There we are. Just move it around to about the center there, and make that nice and stretch across there like that. Just move it a little bit to the right. I'm not going to mess around too much with this. And click yes, and there we have it. Oh yes, there's one last thing I did on this, by the way. What I did was I went to I merged this word forest with this one, just to make it easier, so I could do both layers in one go. I could do them one at a time, it's easier. Merge down, and then what I did was I went to this one. Oh, it's already open, but there you are. It's got the opacity. If it's not open, you just like that, you just click it, opacity, and I've just reduced that opacity, not too much, just a little bit. Now the reason I did that, as you can see, is because if you look closer at it, you'll see the tree appearing through the letter. So it's like the letters are sort of transparent with the forest showing through, which does create a rather nice professional effect. So if I was just to zoom in there, you'll see, hopefully, yep, you'll see the leaves of the tree showing through the R and so on, but you can read the letters. There we are, and that's how I did it.